was a state representative before I got to Congress. I'm the second youngest member of Congress. I'm 32 years old. When I first got there, they wouldn't really let me through because they thought I was just a staff person, and security used to tackle me at the entrance. They're pretty tight on that stuff. Eventually, they started to let me go, and now I actually get to be a normal member of Congress like everyone else. I spend about half of my time here at home, and then half of my time over in Washington, D.C. When I'm here in the district, I spend a lot of time going around meeting with students. Frankly, is a big part of what I do, which is great. I think that's the best part of my job, getting to talk to students about my work and trying to encourage them and get them interested in the kind of things that are going on in their government, because it affects you very deeply, but you might not pay much attention to it. I think that's unfortunate. A lot of young people don't pay enough attention to what's going on in government, and really what's going on affects your lives even more so than your parents and grandparents, because you're going to be around here for longer. So there's a lot more room for things to change over your lifetime. When I'm here, I'm visiting schools, I'm meeting people in my office, I'm going to various events. I represent 3 counties: Kent County, Berry County, and Ionia County. So I have to travel around a lot. But really, this is one of the smaller congressional districts in terms of geographic area, because it's pretty well populated. It has because of the city of Grand Rapids, there's so much population within Kent County that my district's actually not very big. A lot of my colleagues have much bigger districts that stretch across like 20 counties, for example. Some people have districts that are almost whole states. Like out west, some of those states that don't have big populations, the representative represents the whole state. They have to, just driving around or flying around takes forever. So I have it pretty easy, actually, in terms of that. When I'm back in D.C., I wake up in the morning and have some breakfast meetings. People will hold events and meetings in the morning, and then you'll have committee meetings in the late morning, sometimes early afternoon. I'm on the Budget Committee and the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. So I deal with budget, economic issues, and also oversight, which is just monitoring what's going on in government. It monitors everything, all the agencies and everything else in government. In the afternoon, around early afternoon, I'll start having to go to votes on the House floor. So my clock starts buzzing, and if any of you have been to the Capitol, you'll see that the clocks have lights and buzzers, and they just start making noises, and that means you have to get down to the House floor, and you have 15 minutes to get to the House floor to vote, no matter where you are in Washington, D.C. And I've got a pager also that tells me, that there's votes called, and my cell phone will, one of my 3 cell phones will, I'll get an email on it that there are votes going on, and so I have to get down to the House floor in 15 minutes so I don't miss a vote. And I'm one of only probably about, I think, 10 members who hasn't missed a vote in Congress, and that's just in this term, So since I started being in politics, I was a state legislator, I've voted almost 2,500 times in a row without missing a vote, which is pretty unusual. The average member of Congress has already missed about 40 votes. So it's pretty common for them to just miss votes. I think if you, for some of them I'm happy they're missing votes, but I think if you're elected to Congress, you're elected to do a job, you should be there and be voting. A lot of them take the time to, instead of being on the House floor voting, they're out campaigning or doing something else, or they have some other event. That's all like the sideshow, in my opinion. Your job is to be there voting and representing your constituents. So I take that very seriously. I'll be at work until voting until about 7 o'clock usually. So we'll have votes throughout the day. We'll have a series of votes, maybe they go for an hour, then we go back to our office and have more meetings, then more votes, then more meetings, then more votes. And then after votes, I'll probably have to do some work in the office. I'll generally leave work around 9:30 or so, maybe around 10. I usually eat dinner after 10. I'll frequently just forget that I didn't eat during the day, and then I'll go back and eat some dinner late at night, which makes it difficult because a lot of the restaurants are not open after 10, and I don't really cook. So that's a challenge. But then I'll continue to work on some other stuff when I get back. Sometimes you got to do even some campaign stuff at night. You can't do it while you're at work on government property. You got to do it back at your home. So you'll deal with some of your campaign issues, and then go to bed and do the whole thing over again. And like I said, I'm generally there about half the time, and I'm here about half the time. I think the most interesting thing I do is that I explain every vote I take on Facebook, and I am the first member of Congress ever to explain every single vote I take. In this Congress, we've had about, I think we're coming up on almost 1,200 votes, and I've explained every single one on Facebook. And I do it all myself. I actually go onto Facebook and type it up, which most members of Congress, when they use social media, someone on their staff is actually doing it. But I actually do it myself. So you can visit my Facebook page in your free time, facebook.com/Rep. Justin Amash. I've got about 24,000 people following me on there, and trying to get it up to 100,000 or 200,000, so more people can be interested in politics and understand what we're doing. But I want to open it up for questions now, and I want to thank you again for having me here today. So thanks.